We're all here, present.
Speaking of availability, with Ian and Tommy kind of dealing with their injuries, how has that kind of affected the way you've had to game plan for this year, or for this week?
Our tight ends have done a great job all camp. Like, we've been without them for the majority of it, so we're confident in the next guy up mentality, and they got a lot of reps and live reps in the preseason, reps over the spring, reps in the fall. So for us, we just operate as normal because we've been dealing with the same personnels for a bit now. So we're confident in them, and having Tommy and having Ian around, like when they're healthy and they're rolling, it's an added benefit.
Jatavion wasn't known for his blocking ability in college. What have you seen growth-wise from him in that regard?
I would say he's one of the ones who benefited most from extended reps in training camp. He's bought into every asset of what we're trying to do. Big props to him. I know Dave gave him the kudos that, hey, we'll let you wear number 0 because of the work you put in, and that truly is the case with him. We're really proud of how far he's come, and we knew he had a lot in the tank. We knew he was a great athlete. He plays grounded. He plays with great feet, and that can translate into the blocking game as well. We knew he was going to bring the pass, and he's continued to develop as a blocker, and we love it.
How important will it be? Are you anticipating the Saints, when they see him on the field, to have 5 D-back looks more so than run blocking, run defense?
Yeah, they mix it up a bit. So especially in 12, but in 11, they really trust their nickel group. So you go and watch them. They play an aggressive style. We try to get man-to-man type looks. So we're just emphasizing to all of our guys to expect man, ready to react to zone. So they're all prepared, whether it's tight end, receivers, running backs, to beat match and man coverage, because that's what these guys like to do.
With JT and Jordan, they both in theory with their skill set could be big nickel receivers. Does that kind of give you an advantage in 12 because it kind of looks like 11 too, like from a personnel standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. It allows you to be flexible when you have guys that you trust to run routes the right way, and the guys that have a ton of experience doing it. And then just like what we were talking about, the added benefit of their progression in the blocking world, being able to still get good core runs off in 12 personnel as well, just allows us to open up our playbook a little bit more.
What have you observed in Jordan in his transition from receiver to tight end that's really stood out to you?
I mean, I know everyone probably says the same thing, but he is the ultimate pro. It's unbelievable how he takes care of his body. I race him every day. I'm already behind. I'm racing him every day to try to get out to the field and beat him, to prepare for practice. I'm just trying to stay in shape. He's getting his body ready for I don't know what season it is now, like 13.
11.
Yeah, so I played Jordan in college. My last game, to give you a little context, my last game at Wake Forest was at Vanderbilt. And Jordan Matthews, we kid about it all the time. He caught, it was 4th and 20. It's a little embarrassing. It's fourth and 20. We had our first round corner on him and safety help, and he catches a goal ball to win the game in my last career, college game. So just a testament to how much experience and how much work he's put in to not only play in the NFL, but play 2 different positions and take another step. Like, to go from receiver to tight end, that's no easy feat. And we have a couple guys that are doing that with Felipe as well, going from, quarterback to tight end. So, one, it's a testament to their work ethic, Jordan especially, but also, like, Pat prepares his guys the right way. He does a phenomenal job with these guys, and just talking about technique, and he takes every athlete a little bit different. He understands what their strengths and their, and what they need to work on, might be, and he really accentuates it in individual periods and just how he reaches in demands from them.
Have you brought up that to Jordan?
Oh, yeah.
That heartbreak?
Yeah. It kills me. It's my lingering moment of actually putting on the pads. So he drove me to a coaching career a little quicker than I wanted to.
What year was it?
Yeah. What's that?
What year was that?
That would have been 20. I graduated in 14, so 13 season.
Sure.
Yeah.
He remembers it too, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a highlight out there. Every time we played him twice, and we probably averaged like 11 catches against us. Yeah.
Brad, from a process standpoint, when you guys bring in as many new people, active roster, practice squad as you have the last week, what are your kind of keys to getting guys caught up and teaching people on the fly?
Yeah, it's a combination of just taking all the extra time that you can with them. First, learning their names. Like, we dealt with it in the preseason as well. Playing linemen with 2 days prep and them coming in And again, it's a hats off to all of the assistant coaches all the way down, like Dean Petzing, Khalid Cueva, those guys taking some of those linemen, bringing them in and getting them up to speed. Rob with the receivers, like we've had a couple new ones there, so he's getting them up to speed this week. But it's nothing new to us. And then it's the combination of that, but then also relying on the guys that have been there, the JTs we're talking about who've benefited from all the extra reps. They got the experience to just go ahead and echo what the coaches are trying to accomplish. So we trust our guys because we're far along now where they know what we're trying to accomplish as a group. And they're going to echo a lot of those sentiments we're trying to get across in a little bit faster. And we need it because we don't have, you don't have 24 hours in the day to just keep harping these same points. They're going to have times when they're not right in front of their coach and they need to lean on their teammates as well.
Brad, I know your dad was here a couple of practices, but have you guys had a moment to kind of reflect on what your grandfather would think about you becoming an OC?
Oh, man.
At this point in your life, at this point in your career?
Yeah, you hit me hard with that one. I never got to see my grandpa coach, but just thinking about him, like my dad, that's a heavy one for me. But my dad said, I remind him of my grandpa, just because like keeping it simple, trying to reach the person that's in front of you. I would have loved to see him coach. I know he was a phenomenal coach. He was on so many winning teams, Super Bowl ring with the Colts. And I know he's pushed my dad into the realm, right? He pushed my dad into football. And I know who he was as a man. So for my dad to like echo that to me, that just means the world to me because I hold him in the highest regard. I would have loved to see him coach, and I know he would have loved to be here as well.
I want to ask you too about Deontay Johnson. What have you observed about him? Because his leadership, he really didn't have to play that role at Pittsburgh. And he's been, I guess, asked to do a little more of that. What do you observe in him, maybe off the field that we don't see that shows that?
Yeah, this is a guy. We have some younger guys learning how to get their body ready for a true NFL game, which is a whole different experience. This is a guy who's mastered that. He comes ready to work. Like his body is in shape. He's communicating with us. When things come up, there's a piece of professionalism about him where you're not hiding things from coaches, just being honest with them. And we know it's not complaining. We know it's not. It's just we want to keep a pulse on the situation of how are you feeling? Okay, how's your body doing? And then he does everything he can to get back to the next day. Like yesterday, having a great day of base down stuff where you might have some play action shots down the field. He does a great job of communicating. Okay, how do you feel coming out of that break? How do you feel? How does your body feel overall? Coming out of a practice, so we can take care of you today and get you the reps you need today. All of those little pieces of both communication and what he does pre-practice, taking care of his body, just like we talked about with Jordan. That stuff, everybody's watching. Xavier Legette's watching. Jonathan Mingo's watching. We have two examples with him and Thielen, guys who just know how to prepare both their bodies and their minds, and they have a process about them. Where that was the first day of training camp. It was like, you guys need to start looking at other people's processes. Okay, what can I add to my game? What can I add to my game week to get myself ready for a game, whether it's mental or physical or emotional?
Have you seen any of the negative stuff that you heard from Pittsburgh pop up here at all?
He's been positive. He's been great. He's been great to be around. I think his confidence when he walks out on the field, he knows he can beat anyone. That's what we charged him with when he first came in the door. That's what we wanted him to be, and that just leaks off to the rest of the team, and it really inspires the offense because we know, okay, we're looking over there at 5, and he's planning on beating the brakes off of whoever's in front of him. Well, that just charges up the O-line. Hey, let me hold on just a little bit longer. I know this guy's working. When Bryce wants to break contain and extend a play, like eyes a lot of the time go to 5 because we know he's working. We know it showed up in the Buffalo drive, right? So that's stuff that's been showing up all camp. A guy who's that confident, it really bleeds into all the other players.
What have you seen growth-wise from Mingo as a route runner this offseason? This summer?
Yeah, Mingo, play speed. We'll always harp it with him. He's a big guy. He's physical, and he plays physical. So he's taken a huge leap for us in just playing fast. Don't let don't chop your feet when you're coming up to a DB. Be strong through the break point, right? And he's done a phenomenal job of running through contact because the combination of speed and size, we have it with a couple of guys. It's only valuable when you're moving full speed, and he's done a really good job of taking another step with all his routes in that regard.
All right, thanks, Coach.